What is up, fellow crypto lovers? Welcome back to another episode of Beards and Bitcoins, a crypto podcast for the man's man with your host, BitBoy and JChains. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you like what you hear. You can always leave us a comment and please rate and review on iTunes. We sure appreciate your support. If you have any questions or interview requests, shoot us an email at info@beardsandbitcoins.com. In today's episode, BitBoy and I are not joined by a guest. It's just two knuckleheads chatting about scams. I'm sure y'all seen the recent news on Binance. There have also been some huge things going on with scams in China and North Korea. So always remember, keep your crypto off the exchanges, do your own research, and for heaven's sake, don't send anyone any crypto with the expectation of getting more back. Anyhow, that's just now. But I hope you enjoy this episode. But first, here's a quick word from our show sponsor, Monarch Wallet.
Monarch is building the future for those interested in one wallet that consolidates the best services and functionality into one simple and easy-to-use app. Monarch will empower users to control all aspects of their financial kingdom from the palm of their hand. You may have heard the phrase, not your keys, not your crypto. With Monarch, you own your keys and seed, meaning you own your crypto. With Monarch, you can store, receive, send, swap, buy, sell, and earn interest on your crypto, track your portfolio, the news, the market cap, and more today. We're constantly adding new services and updates too. Learn more today by visiting monarchtoken.io or download the wallet for free today from Apple or Google. Hey everybody, welcome back to Beards and Bitcoins. I am your co-host, BitBoy. This is your other co-host, JChains. You guys remember, this is the crypto podcast for the man's man. How are you doing, Chains?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing really well. It's been hot as blazes here in Texas, but most importantly, one of my younger sisters. I'm one of five children in my family, and my sister that's next below me in age, she just came to town. She came and went. They were here with her family for a couple of days. 4 boys, all under like the age 11. Maniacs, super awesome. I love them. It was great to have them in town to hang out. We did a lot of fun stuff, a lot of swimming. You got to find a lot of adventurous things to do when you've got young boys that are now their father's a police officer, so they've kind of got, they have a lot of fun. They were cliff diving. Yeah. We've got like these cliff dives. Like even the little guy who's like 6 years old was just jumping off the cliff. Like, and it was like a 15-foot drop. No fear. These boys have no fear. I didn't even do it. What about you?
That's crazy. As a father, I like my children to have fear. That's something I like. We've been doing, my oldest son's been playing football. So we started tackle football a couple weeks ago. He begged me to play. So, I let him play. I'm assistant coaching the team. I'm out there every afternoon, 6 to 8:30, out there yelling at kids. And that's adventurous. You like yelling at kids?
I mean, I would probably enjoy that.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Especially on a football field. I think that'd be a special, because I played football, so I got yelled at. So it'd be nice to reciprocate and give back.
Well, it's funny because, I coached soccer for a long time, and soccer, the parents want you to treat them like they're, just be nice to little Jimmy now. Don't yell at him. And then on the football field, the parents are like, yell at him as loud as you can. I'm like, okay, I can handle that. That's no problem. So
that's easy.
That's easy for me. So we got some exciting news for the podcast. So next week, we are heading to Podcast Movement, which we recently discovered is a podcasting conference that was actually at least co-founded by our friend Gary Leland. Didn't even know that till a couple months ago. We had actually already talked about going. And so we're going to be down there next week from Tuesday to Thursday. So you guys be on the lookout for some live podcasts, and we're going to upgrade the podcast. I mean, that's kind of the plan, right, Chains?
Level up, man. Think of this like a video game. We're leveling up.
Oh, we got to level up. We got to. So we're going to be trying to figure out some different things that we can do to improve the podcast, maybe upgrade some equipment and things like that. So whenever we get together and are able to, do a live podcast, that's always fun no matter what. So maybe we can try to get Gary on next week while we're down there.
Absolutely. And the synergy is always well. I mean, when we're sitting in the same space, just chit-chatting, going back and forth, I mean, there's really nothing better. So I'm looking forward to it. We always have a good time hanging out together. So
I just got one question. Well, I got 2 questions. The first question is, will the Bitcoin white paper proofreader show up? Ooh. And do you have your expansion pack for a little VR action? So listen, guys, Today, we're going to talk about something really cool. We're going to talk about scams here in a minute. Well, that sounds terrible, didn't it? Scams are not cool.
No, but we're going to address something that needs to be addressed, and we're cool, so it's cool by default.
I mean, it's cool. It's real cool. It's definitely going to be interesting. So we're going to get into that in a few seconds. But before we move over there, let's talk about our show sponsor, Monarch, the token and the wallet. All Monarch things.
Everything Monarch. We, like you said, we love those guys. Monarch Wallet is your complete solution with regards to crypto. It's a crypto-driven ecosystem that gives you the power to control all aspects of your financial kingdom from the palm of your hand. The Monarch Wallet is the only app worldwide to offer the amount of utility, functionality, security, and capability in one place for you, the user, to easily manage all aspects of your digital asset and financial life. So if you need to learn more information or you just kind of want to go check it all out, visit monarchtoken.io today and learn all about it. And a quick shout out to Beatles. What's up, Beatles?
What's up, Beatles? Yeah, I got to go hang with him a few weeks ago, which was kind of cool in San Francisco, him and his son, Lil Beatles. We had some corn dogs. He said it was the first time he'd eaten bread in 3 years. So,
Beatles or young Little Beatles?
Oh, Lil Beatles eat some bread. That was Big Beatles. Lil Beatles eat some bread. Lil Beatles is like me. He likes to eat, I think. So, anyways, it was definitely a fun time we had out there. And, we talked about Monarch and kind of the future and direction of it. And, I mean, it's just getting more and more popular. And it is a lot of, these scams we'll look at today involve exchanges not really understanding how to keep your crypto. The fact is, you need somewhere. We just had a lot of people recently wanting to move off Coinbase because there was some kind of, negative news about that. Binance obviously had the huge hack. Well, the hack actually occurred back in May, but, maybe we'll get into that a little bit today too, which was crazy news. And, more of these exchanges are looking like they're not safe to keep your crypto on, even though we kind of already knew that. But yeah. Monarch's definitely a good alternative. So let's talk crypto scams. I mean, I'm ready. I'm ready as ever to jump into this. But before we do, I'll send you a 5 ETH and you send me 25 back.
Oh, that sounds like a great deal. Just zip me over your ETH address and you got it, man.
Perfect.
As long as you send me 20 back, we're good to go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you'll definitely get it. I mean, it might take a little bit of time for the confirmations to go through, but you'll get it. So, okay.
Speaking of scams, so that one, I don't think that we really, I mean, I think everybody who fell for that, that's over. If you still send Ether in hopes for getting more Ether, I'm sorry, you're a moron.
Well, it's not over though. I mean, it's here's the thing. This is why I thought this was such a good topic to talk about, is because the price of crypto is going up. Report on a story today on my news website I've got, bitboycrypto.com. You guys have had a lot of news stories, a lot of stuff about things we'll talk about today, and, a lot of other things as well. But, the fact is that with the price going up, I just did a story about how Bitcoin's at $12,000, and there are some indicators showing for the first time in a couple months that it's actually a good time to buy. So even though we're right at 12K, people are talking about buy, which is really crazy considering where we were 6 months ago. And all of that being said, as the price goes up, you're going to see more and more of this stuff. And the new ETH for ETH scam is like a give. Like it used to be somebody would post a tweet and then right under it would be someone impersonating a large crypto personality, which I still don't have any fake Twitter accounts out there. And that honestly makes me really angry. Can somebody get on that? A BitBoy scammer account, I would appreciate it, but just don't use it to scam people. But anyways, the point here is the new thing that people are doing is the same thing where they're posting right up underneath, but instead of posting, hey, this place is giving away 5 ETH, all you got to do is send them 1. They're like giveaway post, oh, this place is giving away, this much of something, you can win. All you got to do is send some crypto there. I've been seeing a lot of those lately. So the jumping on popular tweets is definitely a scam.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then it's followed up. You see the next post below that where it's thanks, Jenny. I've already received my 5. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
They all look the same, and it's sad. It's sad that people fall for that. But there's a reason why these scammers do the things that they do, because people have fallen for those things in the past. So.
Well, and some of the things that we'll talk about in this episode about scams, like you said, with North Korea, where they've been stockpiling their scam money and doing stuff with it. So, but how about for the first one, we jump into, it was an article that I believe came out yesterday or even later this morning or something. I think it was yesterday, actually. It was about the crypto YouTuber, Ben Perrin, where he was approached for one of those scams, and in turn, because he's in this space, he knows what's up. He actually scammed the scammer.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's good. So yeah, I definitely know Ben. If you guys saw my Full House parody video I did last year at Litecoin Summit, he was in that. He is from the channel BT Sessions. He's a good friend. He's actually been on my channel before. We did a live stream with him and Crypto Blood, and the fourth person is slipping my mind, but yeah, he's a good dude. And it was very interesting to see how this kind of thing kind of unfolded, because the first thing he did is, we're in a Telegram group together, is he put like the transcripts in there, and he made the video or whatever, and then it just went viral. And he's been on Gizmodo, he's been on the local news up in Canada, he's been doing several interviews. This thing absolutely blew up. Now, here's the key to the story that you have to know, is that, and it may be in the article you read, is he scammed the scammer, got the scammer to send him, I think it was $50 or $100, and then he donated that to charity.
I think that's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, what was the charity? I know that I saw it in the article.
Yeah, I never saw which one it was.
Bitcoin Venezuela.
Crypto Educational Fund. That's all I know.
No, it was Bitcoin Venezuela. So it's to get people from off the Bolivar onto Bitcoin.
That's right.
Or crypto of their choice, I suppose. But
it's hard to get off the Bolivar when you're sitting on it, because you can make a chair out of it. It's so worthless. Really worthless. Bolivar, it's hyperinflated like a million times. I think they said if you had $1 million worth of Bolivar last year, that this year it's worth like $30.
Oof.
Like, it's crazy. It's insane. It's that crazy. I don't know the exact numbers, but whatever it is, when you see the real number, your jaw drops. Like, it's really crazy what's going on in Venezuela. Side note, Venezuela Bitcoin volume peer-to-peer on localbitcoins.com is at all-time high. So that shows you right there, when the fiat currency is hyperinflating, people are going to go to Bitcoin. But yeah, that was definitely a cool story. And the thing is, if you've been in crypto for a while, you get these weird messages from people all the time. Hey, the weird thing is, though, a lot of them, they seem like some of these scammers have gotten a little smarter, so that the way they actually lead into those conversations are like, hey, I'm interested in investing in cryptocurrency. Can you help me? Like, when you get a message like that on Instagram or Telegram or Twitter, you're like, oh, cool. This guy wants help. But the question would be, number one, like, and this is not even if you're an influencer, this is any person on Twitter, if they know you're in crypto, why would a person be sending you that message?
Oh, because they love your pretty face, man.
Well, I mean, my face is pretty. That is true.
I do get nervous about those, though, right? Where you get the request on Twitter for someone to talk to you. It's like, oh, hey, how are you? It's like, do I even respond to this? Because I know what's coming.
Yeah, no. If someone starts out a message with something like, hey, or how are you? Like, I never respond. If they won't actually get to the business of what they're wanting to ask me about, then you don't get a response, But they kind of do it in a reverse way to make you feel. What happens is, when somebody does this, when somebody sends you a message and they said, hello, I would like to invest in cryptocurrency. Can you help me? What they're doing is they're giving you the power. They're making you feel like, oh, me? Oh, I do know about crypto. I can help this person. And then they have a way of twisting that around to where eventually it turns out they're trying to scam you. And a lot of it is done through like, and this is how Bitcoin or how Ben Perrin actually got the scammer to give him money. They say, oh, just do a test transaction. Just do a test transaction. I want to know that it works. So send me $50, and then, if that's case, then I'll send you a bunch of money. And that's the scam right there. And they devolve into these conversations of, talking about, how that person can get money from you, even though it starts out as something that makes you feel like, oh, this person can't be scamming me because they're asking me to help them. It's psychological is what it is. And that's what a lot of these scams prey on, is the psychology of humans.
Just remember, crypto is trustless. Do your own research. Crypto is trustless. Trust no one.
Yeah, because once a transaction goes through, it's done. There's no refunds on the blockchain.
Oof. It's scary. I know that that's something that's scary to a lot of people, and and it's not so much about reversing a transaction. It's more about messing up a transaction. I know personally, when I first got into it, I was so apprehensive to send anything because I've just figured I was going to screw something up. Right. I mean, that just happens in my life where I've booked flights for the next year, for the next month, for like 2 weeks later. I'm like, wait a second. Like the other day, like actually, this is a funny story. Coming home from Bitcoin 2019.
Yeah.
We took the bus from LA to San Francisco, and then we were going to take the bus back to LA. I had to get back home, so I booked myself a flight from San Francisco back to Austin. I get to the airport, and my thing's not working. So I go to the counter. I'm like, ma'am, this is not working. I'm not really sure what's going on. And she very quickly realized that I had booked my flight for the day that we were on, but in July, not June. So
did you get taken care of? Or are you still in San Francisco right now?
I got it taken care of, but it was not very cheap.
I've done that before too with a hotel where I was in the hotel parking lot. I can't remember where we were coming back from, but we were in the hotel parking lot. And so I was using Expedia or something, like clicked like map, like closest one to me. And I ended up booking a hotel like 6 hours away. I was literally in the hotel trying to check out, and they're like, you'll have to call Expedia. Luckily, the place refunded it. A lot of places, I mean, they have the option not to refund if you do that. So you got to be very careful. But on the blockchain, there's no option of those refunds, especially from a scammer. So I've definitely reverse trolled a lot of scammers before. I understand this way of thinking. I just always end up asking them for nudes. That's what now, no one's ever sent me one, but all my reverse scamming conversations always end with, yeah, I'll send you 50 Bitcoins if you just send me those nudes that you promised,
I like, the other day, and this wasn't so much of a scam, but it was someone who was really kind of opposing maybe just being an naysayer for no reason, and they kind of fired some stuff back to you. And I forget what your response was, but it was really funny about how this was yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah, the thing where the guy said that I'm a shill.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, about finance.
Yeah. So I have a new strategy. My new strategy is to never, ever, ever seriously defend myself anywhere. I don't do it on Twitter. I don't do it on Reddit. I don't do it on Instagram. I don't do it on YouTube. If someone says something about me, like I know who I am, my community knows who I am. Like people know I'm authentic. I don't do sponsored content and not disclose it. Like it's always either in the video or in the description. Never have I done anything like that, right? So when somebody calls me a shill, then obviously they don't know who I am. And so this guy said, he said that it was talking about the Binance hack, and he said, I did a story, and I'm very irritated at Binance, and I'm going to do another story today about how they've been purposely hiding stuff from people regarding these hacks, and it's not good stuff, right? And so this guy said, oh, you better not say anything about Binance. They're, they pay for all you shills. And so I responded and I said, I did not receive my W-2 in the mail. And he said, oh, well, your masters will do something. I said, it's a real shame. I only live 3 hours from Augusta, and I've never been to the Masters. It would have been real cool to watch Tiger win. So
that's what it was, man. I thought that was just a great reverse, like, screw you, man.
So one guy a couple of weeks ago when I was because this is my new thing. Like I refuse to seriously defend myself. I only will respond with jokes. And some guy said, oh yeah, now I see you're the fat guy that just tries to be funny. And I responded with another joke. Like I will out joke you. I will get the last word with a joke, no matter what. And the more serious you try to be with me, the more I'm going to joke with you. So
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. So back to scams.
Yes, back to scams.
I pulled up this article, and I suppose I could probably share it.
Yeah, it's sure.
Where do you do that at?
At the top or at the bottom? At the bottom where it has the green thing. Say sure. Yeah. Well, insider info for you Zoom users.
There you go. All right. So this is the 5 most notorious cryptocurrency scams of 2019. Came out in April, so a few months ago, but some pretty big ones that I'm sure everybody remembers. And maybe we can just run through some of these and talk about it. The first one is the South Korean Ponzi scheme. It had some investors in South Korea, mostly old people, which I hate how people scam old people, man. That's like
They do. They love it.
they're just, it's an easy target, and it makes you sad. But they scammed them out of over $18.5 million, with the promise of, these great returns. I guess 56,000 people were scammed, and the algorithms, they found them.
So here's the thing about Ponzi schemes, which, a lot of scams in crypto, they surround two things. When we talk about a crypto project or a crypto website being a scam, there's really only two areas that have really been hit hard by scams. One is Ponzi schemes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything that guarantees returns is a scheme. It's a scam. Nothing can guarantee you returns. The other thing that, of course, there's a lot of scams around are ICOs. Now, the important thing is there are projects out there that you can get dividends on. If you, like IOST, for instance, you can stake it and you can earn money on owning the token. But the difference between that and a Ponzi scheme is, with IOST, you own all your IOST. With a Ponzi scheme, basically what a company is doing is they are taking your funds out of your wallet. They're removing your crypto. And basically what they're saying is, we will invest this. And when we invest this, we will pay you returns on top of that. And what happens is they end up borrowing from the next person to pay the last person. And eventually that pyramid is always going to pop. So any place that guarantees you returns on your crypto, not dividends, it's almost always a scam.
So question for you then.
Yes.
Maybe we can engage into some dialogue here. What's the difference between that and a bank account? Because a bank takes your money, they invest your money, and they give you interest.
Nothing. It's the world's biggest Ponzi scheme.
There we go. That's what
I want you guys to think about this. Literally, I can guarantee you this is true. I can't promise this about your hometown local bank that's not a branch. But if every single Wells Fargo customer, every single one, the same day, go to your bank and say, I would like to withdraw all of my funds in cash, the bank could not do it. Your bank does not have enough money in it to give you and every other customer all of your money.
Kevin Pham tried to get something like that going, right?
Maybe. I'm not sure. He's Bitcoin SV. We don't talk about him anymore.
No, this was, I think, like a year or two ago. This was before he had got a
I'm kind of kidding, but also serious.
Nope.
Yeah, serious. So I'm not sure if he tried that or not, but, Andreas Antonopoulos talks about it in, one of his speeches or one of his talks in The Internet of Money, which is, the bank is taking your money out of your account. They're using that money to give other people loans, and they're earning interest on those loans that's actually your money. And that's the way that banks work. That's why it's the world's biggest Ponzi scheme. And eventually it's all going to pop. So it's just a matter of time. And, we're in the process of getting there now with cryptocurrency. I don't think it will be, I think a lot of people think that the banking system in the financial world is untouchable, but it's not, in my opinion. So,
yeah, I think we're going to see some major changes. I did pull up this article. So former Wells Fargo teller starts moving against ex company's fraud.
Oh, he worked for them. Wow.
He was a bank teller.
Did not know that.
Nerd.
Interesting. Very interesting. You taught me something, Chains. I love it.
We learn something new every day. All right. Let's see. ICO fraud in Canada. That doesn't sound so exciting. $51 million stolen in Taiwan. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the larger schemes for sure. There's a $114 million one down the page. Ooh. But, a lot of these have the same thing in common. I mean, I told you guys most of the scams will involve Ponzi schemes or ICOs. And that is basically everyone on that list, Yeah. $114 million stolen in Bulgaria, and you just got to be smart with what you're doing with your money. And, crypto is the kind of opportunity that, as one YouTuber recently put it, is a once in a species lifetime or opportunity, not once in a lifetime, but once in a species opportunity for wealth redistribution, where you can go from, having nothing to having everything in a short amount of time. But by short amount of time, we mean, a few years, 10 years, maybe even, which is way more than the stock world can promise you. But, people that want to make $1 million off of $100 in 3 months, it's not really possible. That's not a real thing that you can do. So when people are promising returns like that, it's not going to happen.
No, I mean, if you were lucky enough to catch, the major bull run of 2017, I feel like that was the chance. Now everybody is so darn scared of losing more money. I mean, I posted something the other day on Twitter about this. I mean, you're never going to 1000x on anything if you sell for 5% gains because you're too afraid and you got to take profits, right? Yeah. And I think everybody's been toasted so hard that I don't think we're going to see parabolic runs like that at least to the capacity as it was. I mean, obviously some things will run. You'll get some gains. Some people might see some 5, 10x's. I personally don't see the 10,000x anymore.
And that is why people like 5% gains. Like your exact reasoning for that, like your exact thought process right there is why people are scared and they want to take the money after the 5% gains. Some of us are much more reckless than that. So I disagree with you. I think we will see that again. I don't think it will be as many. I don't think projects 6 through 700 on CoinMarketCap will all be 10xing like we saw before. But I definitely believe that there still will be projects in the top 100 that can easily 10x or more. There's projects out there that I believe will still 100x. It's just you got to do more research and find the right one. So, we've already seen something like Phantom is one. A Smart City Crypto has done very well this year. Chainlink has done very well this year. So there's still a lot of potential out there. But the days of being able to create a ICO scam coin and get that thing to 300x probably are over. But I still think that we're kind of in this place where the Bitcoin maximalism is taking over and Bitcoin dominance is rising, but that is going to hit a ceiling at some point. We don't know what the ceiling will be. It might be 90%. I think it will. I would have thought it was 70%, but we're getting very close to 70%. Could get up to 80%. I don't see that happening. But somewhere in between 70 and 80, I think we will find that ceiling, and then it will drop. So it probably will not be – it's looking more and more like it won't be till Bitcoin hits all-time highs, which could be within a month at this rate. So could be. Not saying it will, but it could be.
It could be. 68.8% currently right now is the Bitcoin dominance.
Yeah. So. And that thing has been ripping. Every time I check it, it's up. So I did a news video where I wrote an article and then 2 hours later I checked it and it was up almost 0.5%. So
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy how much that thing is riding. But yeah, so let's talk about when it comes to scams, one thing is obviously hacking, right? Hackers, a lot of these people that are scamming you, they're actually hackers. They're not just some rando that's like, hey, I'm just going to try this message. They're actually involved in sophisticated schemes and they know what they're doing. And there's actually been recently, you can read about both of these stories on BitBoyCrypto.com, 2 different state-sponsored hacking groups that have been targeting crypto exchanges and crypto firms. One is called the Lazarus Group. It's out of North Korea. And then the other one is called APT41, I believe, and is out of China. So the scary thing about these is both of these are sponsored by their country. So we actually have North Korea and China itself wanting to target cryptocurrency exchanges and firms for hacking funds. Now, North Korea actually got $2 billion in hacks from exchanges, mostly Asian exchanges. And JChains, what do you think they use that on?
My first guess is going to be like weapons and drugs.
Weapons and ballistic missiles. Ooh. So I don't know about drugs. I don't know if North Korea is huge on drugs. I'm not sure because I don't know. You think of places like North Korea where everything is so like, I don't know if you've seen the movie The Interview, and I don't know how close that is to real life, but I think it's pretty close. I don't think it's that far off. I mean, some of the stuff obviously was exaggerated, but I don't know at a place like that. I don't even know if there really are drugs circulating. Maybe people from there will tell me I'm wrong and that have been there, but it's a scary place. I wouldn't want to do anything wrong in for sure.
No.
So
But you think, yeah. And when I said that, I think, there's always ties to the CIA with the drug trade here in the United States, where they're the ones that bring the cocaine and the heroin in. I just assume that a country like North Korea, they've found some way to, whether it's just a pass through the country. Yeah, we'll let you get
Oh
in
yeah,
the
yeah, that's
country.
a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, you definitely may be right there. I just don't know if there's a lot of drug users in North Korea. I'm just not sure. Maybe there are. I don't know. It's one of these places that we don't really know what the heck happens there.
So if you are listening to Beards and Bitcoins from North Korea, or you happen to know, just throw a comment on here. Let us know if people use drugs in North Korea.
Yeah, if people use drugs in North Korea, let us know. So the other group is from China called APT or Apartment 41. I don't know if it's App 41 or Apartment 41, whatever it is. It's a Chinese group sponsored by the state. Once again, in a communist country, most stuff is sponsored by the state, and they are targeting any industry that is in the way of Chinese global domination. So China has this thing called their 5-year economic development plan, and any industry that is in that is a target. So healthcare industry, they want to be the leader in healthcare. So if you're in the healthcare world, heighten your cybersecurity, they're coming after you. If you're in, travel, same thing. A lot of these different industries, are being targeted. Entertainment, video games, Hollywood, all of that stuff are being targeted by these, Chinese hackers ran by the state. And it's kind of a scary thing, to think that these countries are going after cryptocurrency exchanges.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to say it's an easy target, but some of these exchanges are just such an easy target. And the volume, I mean, they in some regards, they've probably done it to themselves. And whether it's fake volume or whatever it is, you're like, oh, we do this many billions of dollars a day in transactions, and whether or not they're shadow transactions or just manipulation of what's going on. But then they put this out there that they're making that kind of money. I mean, if you're not safe, I mean, and I know that CZ has said that your funds are
Seifu.
Safu. Well, they ain't Safu. Nothing's Safu. Get your cryptos off exchanges. Don't be a
Yeah.
bozo.
So we just had a huge Binance story in the news, basically involving hacking, scams, the whole 9 yards. What happened is, do you know about this story?
Yeah.
Do you know about this story, Chains?
I've read it. Yeah. I'll bet you know more about it than me, though.
Well, I mean, pick a topic. Sorry, I'm just kidding.
Motorcycles.
Oh.
I win.
Yeah, okay, you're the winner. It's true. Okay, so get it, like it. Okay, listen. So Binance was hacked back in May. Okay, some of you guys probably remember this hack. 7,000 Bitcoins were stolen, right? So we're talking about millions. I think it was 120 million, something like that was stolen. Now, the news that we got out of that was that their API system had been hacked. So what that means, if you used a third-party trading tool, right, to trade crypto on Binance, that it was jeopardized, and that through that API key, they could actually get access to your account. Okay, so basically a lot of companies, portfolio management companies, websites, what they did is they reset all the API keys, okay? So that means you had to go back into Binance, create a new API key, and then send it to that third-party website for them to be able to have access to your account. And by access to your account, that just means that you can access your own account through a different website. Like the people that work there aren't actually going in and fooling with your account. So that was the news, that the APIs were stolen. And basically, if you didn't use API, you didn't worry about it. And if you did, you reset the key and it was no big deal. Well, now it's coming out that not only were the API keys stolen, but user information, including KYC documents, were stolen, which means pictures of people holding their passports with their picture, holding passport with their face in the picture, so you can see that they're actually the person holding the passport. And we don't even know what else was stolen. We only know that these were stolen because someone opened up a Telegram group, someone who's been trying to extort Binance for several months now by holding these pictures over their head. They say they got 60,000 pictures, I believe, and they were asking for 300 Bitcoins for them not to release the pictures. So the person ended up, the talks with Binance broke down. The person ended up starting a Telegram group and listed, I think it was 100 of the pictures or some of the pictures, basically kind of still as a threat to Binance. Maybe it released a lot more, but they're supposedly going to release them all. And Binance came out and said, oh, no, it was just FUD. It was just FUD. It's not real. This was taken from a third-party company, blah, 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 blah. Bunch of excuses. The long and the short of it is the pictures were taken from Binance, whether it came through a third-party company or not. And CZ is basically trying to spin this like, number one, it's good news. He actually had a tweet where he said, oh, this can actually be, a lot of times you have bad stuff happen and it can be for good, which in life is true. If you're in charge of my money, I don't want to hear that. If you have my money on your exchange, I don't want to hear that. So, now we're finding out that they lied to us or hid information. In my opinion, hiding information is a lie. If you're not giving us the whole truth, that's a lie. So it's a bad situation all the way around. And I definitely will not be using Binance going forward at all. I know U.S. customers are supposed to be losing in September, but this to me was a final blow. They've had 3 hacks in 13 months, which you think is the biggest exchange. You think they can afford the best security. Now, granted, they're going to get the most attacks, but to me, it's just a bad situation all around. And you really got to think about where you're putting your money, especially knowing that all like these state-sponsored, hacking groups are coming after crypto exchanges. Like, not your keys, not your crypto. Y'all will remember that.
Yeah. It's funny for me, and we could probably have a whole segment or a portion of an episode on slamming Binance. Yeah. I think there's like I said, there's just a whole lot you can talk about. For me personally, when they listed Dogecoin, that was game over. Like you lost all respect and credibility when you list a meme coin. I mean, it's not even a real asset, in my opinion. It's clown. Yeah. In my opinion.
Well, I think there's very specific reason why they did it, I believe, which is, Dogecoin is one that's very liquid and it's easy to trade your Bitcoins out for Dogecoin or your Dogecoin for Bitcoin because there's so many buy and sell orders because it's so few Satoshis that if you go check the order books, you'll see like there is so many Bitcoins on each Satoshi sitting on buy orders and sell orders. And that's probably why they did it to keep it more liquid, even though it is a meme coin. So that's probably the reasoning, but here's the fact. Binance is about to take a big hit. Binance has taken some hits over the years due to those hacks, but they're about to take a big hit because U.S. customers are not going to go there. And I've been really surprised to find out, I've never done KYC with Binance. I've been really surprised to find out how many people have. A good friend of mine who actually the co-creator of BitBoy, the character, he actually told me that he had done KYC with Binance because he had a customer support issue and they required him to do the KYC to answer his issue. So he got handcuffed into doing it. And if you did KYC there, you can, if you did not do KYC, you can keep using Binance. If you did KYC, you have to move off by September. And because of that, I think we're going to see a massive influx of people to exchanges that are, American compliant. Such as Kraken, such as maybe Crow's Nest Exchange, such as Coinbase. Coinbase is adding more tokens as well. Coinbase is really trying to get up there with Binance in terms of what they can offer. Now, Coinbase sucks for a lot of different reasons, but one of the main reasons they sucked for so long was just because they didn't have very many coins. That's why everybody moved to Binance. But they're trying to get all of the major coins from Binance on Coinbase now, so you won't have you can put your money in Coinbase as an on-ramp, and you never have to leave it. You never have to leave Coinbase. And that's all more so the tax man can track you. So
the tax man, because all those people got letters. I'm finding that, like you said, there are some better exchanges that, they're good for the U.S. customers. I think, we know some guys that are doing Beaksy. That's how you say it, right? Beaksy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Beaksy.
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 I've not heard, and I just, maybe I'm missing it, but I haven't heard a whole lot from Crow about Crow's Nest in a while. I know that they were one of the sponsors on the BitBus, but
supposed to launch in July. Did it actually launch? I'm not 100% sure. I'm actually going to be doing a video soon, or a series of videos where I'm going to be looking at different exchange options for Americans. So that's definitely going to be something I'm going to be doing soon. Crow's Nest X, right? That's what it's called, right? Crow's Nest X.
Yeah.
It's not secure.
Yeah, I'm gonna X that out right now.
Oh, I'll go there. I'm not scared.
Crow, you
Yeah,
gotta pay for that privacy.
got to pay for that privacy. You got to pay for it. So yeah, so it looks like it's up. I don't think it's necessarily running yet. Launching in April, live 2 weeks later. Yeah, I don't think it's open yet. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't think it's open yet. It's got a really cool, user interface and stuff like that. If you do want to check it out when it opens, but like I said, unfortunately, it's not out yet, not open yet. But I'm going to be doing a look at American exchanges here very soon because it's a very real thing that people need to be looking at. I think people have been kind of forgetting that the talk is clicking. No, the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking, and September is going to be here before you know it. You're not going to be able to trade on Binance anymore. And if there have been other stories out this week. You can also read about on bitboycrypto.com. I've written so many stories this week about the UK. Is actually their tax service, the equivalent of the HRS, the something customs tax something. They've sent letters over the last week to Coinbase, CEX.io, and also to eToro, asking them for all of their customers' transaction logs. Now, none of those three exchanges have, to my knowledge, given them or even made comments about the letters yet. They're probably still trying to figure out what to do. But the days, the one thing is, right, we all want mainstream adoption. Everybody wants crypto everywhere. Everybody wants Bitcoin in the mainstream. But at the same time, along comes the attention. So, the days of being able to get away with hiding your crypto funds, unless you've already orchestrated in a way that they cannot be traced, are over, in my opinion.
Apollo.
Whoa, Apollo. Well, but still, where you can buy it on Bitmart, right? Bitmart is the exchange where you can buy Apollo at. And if you think about it, how are people getting crypto to Apollo? How are they getting it to Bitmart?
You got a KYC to get on Bitmart, so that's what they. But with Apollo, they're actually going to launch their own DEX, and they've got the ATM. So you could go to a place, drop in a 20, get some Apollo, and then put it to your Apollo wallet and keep it all private. But
a lot of those ATMs are requiring KYC now. Most of them. I've actually not even seen one that does not require KYC.
Oof.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the noose is tightening. I don't try to hide my crypto, so it's not something I really worry about a lot. I know a lot of people do, and that noose is getting tighter and tighter. Let me tell you something else very interesting, JChains, about this, which is the tax authority in the UK that's going after those three exchanges, not going after them, but asking them to comply. They're only wanting transaction logs for the last 2 to 3 years. Okay, that means that if you bought Bitcoin back in 2011 and you made millions of dollars, then they're not trying to come after that money. And I would make the argument that I don't believe that the IRS or the UK watchdog or any other country in the world, or I'm sorry, the UK tax service, I don't think they're very concerned about the money that they've lost already.
They just want to get on top of what they're going to make going forward.
That's exactly what I think they're doing. I think they're trying to establish a baseline of who owns what. Which people have invested in cryptocurrency. That way, if Bitcoin goes up to $300,000, like a lot of people think it's going to do over the next 2 years, that now they know the people to go after. I think that's more what this is about, because while they may have missed out on $100 million, $200 million, whatever it might be, that is a drop in the bucket to what they may be missing out on in the very near future.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sense. They're just getting themselves ready.
Yeah. So, you guys got to be careful of scams, be careful of the tax man, be careful of exchanges.
That fits right into the whole conversation about scams, the tax man, because the tax man is the king of all scammers.
The scammiest of all scammers, the tax man.
The scummiest of all scammers.
Scummiest of all scammiest. Hey, we're going down to Orlando next week. Are we going to Disney World?
Oh, you want to ride Magic Mountain or whatever?
That sounded really weird. Don't ever say that to me, please. Okay, listen. So Yeah, so I don't know. The little Universal Studios action. I mean, who knows what we may do next week?
You don't know we will live stream. We'll make videos. We're gonna cut some more sizzle reels. Get some B-rolls.
Love sizzle B-roll footage. So that's what we'll be doing next week. So I think that's pretty much the end of the show today. But if you guys want to join us next week, come on back. We'll do a live stream. We'll do the whole 9 yards. Be on the lookout for some changes coming to the podcast pretty soon. We don't know what they're going to be yet, but we know there's going to be changes. I hope I don't have to change out a co-host. Did I hit you hard? No. One thing that I can promise that will not be changing on Beards and Bitcoins ever is BitBoy and JChains.
That's it.
That's right.
If anything, we would add somebody, but we would never remove anyone.
We could add, I don't know, Roxette. Could add Roxette. I don't know if y'all know.
A bearded lady.
Oh yeah, bearded lady. I love bearded ladies. So that's what we need. We need like you remember Home Improvement? How what was the name? Was the name of the show? Yeah. It was the name of the show was Home Improvement.
The name of the show on the show was Tool
right.
Time.
Tool Time, right. So Tool Time had Pamela Anderson. I think they had Carmen Electra at some point. They had a beautiful co-host that would basically come out and show the tools and, stuff like that. I think that's the one missing piece to Beards and Bitcoins is a non-bearded lady to kind of, introduce us, to come in and like, oh, here's BitBoy and here's JChains. That's what we need on video, not just a voice.
Yeah, maybe that's one of our little surprises. Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe at the podcast movement, we're going to be on the lookout. So if you think that you're talented enough to be our co-host, come to Orlando next week, and let's see if we can get you on the show.
You got to fill out an application. There will be interviews. No casting couch.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining the show today. Be on the lookout next week for our podcast coming from the Podcast Movement Conference. That's all we got.
See ya.
Hope you guys enjoyed our talk about crypto scams, hacking, exchanges, everything you need to know to keep your crypto safe. Remember, on the blockchain, there's no refunds. So you have to be your own bank, and that comes with the responsibility of taking care of your money. You can't put your funds on a crypto exchange and just cross your fingers that it doesn't get hacked. Also, be careful on social media. People will try to send you messages to make you feel empowered, like they're asking you for help, and in reality, it is just a way for them to scam you. So make sure you guys are being careful out there. Make sure you guys follow us next week for our live podcast coming from the Podcast Movement Conference in Orlando, Florida. Thank you so much to our show sponsor, monarchtoken.io is where you can find more information about the token and also about Monarch Wallet. Big shout out to them. We love Monarch so much. You guys need to check them out. BitBoy out.